Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CS TV. I'm your host, Kathleen Igaltuto, Madam CS, and this is The Striker. Stay tuned and have a true intro. The Striker today, we're going to look at Edwin Sifuna's interview with Yvonne Okwara at Citizen TV, and we are going to analyze this interview in relation to ODM with his stand as far as their relationship with the Kenya Kwanza government is actually concerned. And before we start, here is the tip.
Government, if you go back to the spirit of the constitution in 2010, this is the worst possible government we would have envisaged. It's the direct opposite of what we wanted. So I hear William Ruto has succeeded in bullying these guys in the opposition, Kina Kalonzo, into, he says, these people just say one term, they don't have any agenda. I want William Ruto to know that his removal from office is a national priority agenda. It is the only agenda, because his government is totally opposed to everything that this constitution stands for. And I want these people to be bold. Don't be bullied. You don't have to, he wants to push you into a corner where you're discussing markets. Tell Albert Ojwang about markets and roads. In my ranking, removing Ruto is top. It's even higher than getting a second terminal at JKI or dualing Malaba to Mombasa.
So, in this video, Edwin Sifuna says that actually the number one priority agenda, national agenda, is to remove Ruto out of office. He says this in a public national television. And you know, sometimes back I did a video and I did tell you that I don't see ODM supporting Ruto come 2027. And I did say in that video that Baba's entry into an agreement with the Kenya Kwanza government was more of a revenge and a distracting from within than support. But all said and done, the interview that Edwin Sifuna had in Citizen TV is forming the basis of this discussion. And if there's one thing I also want you to know is that whenever I see Edwin Sifuna speaking, I normally see Raila Amolo Odinga speaking. Why I say that, it's because there is no way Sifuna can come on national television, say all these things that he says, and then go and sit down with Papa at Orange House to discuss ODM matters. I just feel that whenever ODM wants to say something, whenever they need to fire, that is the time they look, for the Secretary General to speak what is the party's position. But all said and done, today's discussion is based on that interview, and I have picked 7 points of discussion that I picked from that interview. Kindly, before we dive in, if you are new to this channel, welcome home, karibu nyumbani. Kindly remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment on our videos. Turn on the notification bell so that the next time we are going to upload a video, YouTube will automatically notify you. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. Kindly remember to like, share, and comment on our videos. And now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dive in. Number one, the first thing I picked from Edwin Sifuna is that Ruto must be removed from governance. And if he has to survive up to 2027, then he should not be re-elected back. So the creep is here.
I want William Ruto to know that his removal from office is a national priority agenda. It is the only agenda. And I want these people to be bold. Don't be bullied. You don't have to, he wants to push you into a corner where you're discussing markets.
And in this clip, Edwin Sifuna is telling the opposition, the likes of Kalonzo, that they should not be bullied and be reduced into people while discussing markets. That actually, construction of a dual passage, construction of the second terminals in the airport is not a priority. The priority is to remove Ruto out of the office. So that tells you one thing. ODM from where I stand, is not happy with the Kenya Kwanza government. It just, they went in there to destroy from within. The second point I picked was about the memorandum of understanding between ODM and the Kenya Kwanza government. When Sifuna was asked about this, he said that the memorandum was for PR.
They wanted a document that they could then go and, run a PR campaign around and say, oh, tumeungana, we are together. That is not what this document says. This document does not establish a coalition agreement between ODM and UDA. Recently, we had another meeting, and there was a proposal to have a team to review the implementation of this MOU. I have asked respectfully that I be left out of that team because I have already declared this MOU dead. I have already done so publicly. So there is no point. I'm not a mortician. There's no point of me going to go through a document that I've already declared dead.
His words. And in this response, it says that actually even warned them that actually there's going to be a very big crisis out of this PR. So literally, what we saw that was happening, that the SGDs, the Secretary Generals were holding the agreement, and people were clubbing and saying, we have joined the government, we want to work as a broad-based government. It was just a political PR to silence people in the country, because they know whenever Papa says it's okay, people normally calm down and life moves on. He's done it there before and people have kept quiet. And I think Ruto from this point was trying kind of, let's use Papa to calm the entire situation down. So what we saw, actually, we were being fooled. And ODM was also fooling Kenya Kwanza that it was just for PR. That was the thing. And then number 3, Sifuna said that memorandum of agreement is dead because it didn't meet what they expected. The respect of life didn't come through. So according to Sifuna, that memorandum of agreement is dead. So meaning right now, because it wasn't implemented the way it was supposed to be implemented, and there's even a committee being formed to review it, and Sifuna said it's not going to be part of that committee. And he's shared these sentiments with Raila, and Raila is compatible with them. It tells you one thing. There's no agreement that was there. We were being taken for a ride. And then, remember, immediately after this memorandum of agreement, we had some ODM people being appointed to the position of the CSs, that is cabinet secretaries. And a good example is Mbadi. And I listened to to Sifuna's response towards this, and he said that the people who were appointed as cabinet secretaries, this was not part of the agreement. And they said that the likes of Mbadi were called individually by President Ruto, because the first agreement was about these people to, the Kenya Kwanza government to form kind of a transition platform where they can be able to solve the issues of the country. But instead, Ruto went ahead and called these people one by one. And if we can remember very well carefully, there's a time when ODM released a memo after these people had been appointed that those people going to work with the Kenya Kwanza government, it wasn't part of their, it was not the position of the party. And this is what he said.
Their own party members.
No, what is their profile? In terms of the time that I've been in public service, what is their profile?
So what are you saying about them?
That's what I'm saying. These people, there was no discussion between ODM and UDA to say, oh, who can you offer us? Who can you offer us? And Baba has said
okay,
it publicly.
I want us to go.
Imagine he questioned even their profile. He said that their profiles. So I don't know what their profiles are like. Maybe we need to dig deeper and find the profiles of people who actually appointed to these positions and ask ourselves, by the way, why? Why were not the best of ODM given positions in the CSs? Why the people who were chosen there? So It also tells us a lot. And they say that they did it on their own purpose. No wonder there's been kind of a division in ODM, because for those ones who got positions, you have been given the position of a CS, and those ones who were against it, they seem not to agree. And that's why we see the likes of Chuneti Muhammad drumming for UDA and the Kenya Kwanza government. Then we have the likes of Sifuna here who are against it, because there's confusion itself within ODM, and actually admitted about it. He admitted about it that actually the memorandum of agreement brought in some confusion. Next, Sifuna said that Ruto does not have any moral or legal authority to threaten him about, facing disciplinary action within ODM. Because he said there is nothing in ODM as a founder member. And number 2, he said Ruto is not even a member of ODM. And number 3 said that ODM has a disciplinary committee that is responsible for disciplinary actions. And therefore, Ruto doesn't feature in any of those. Literally, you can listen to him. What Sifuna is trying to tell us is that, Ruto is a very, very minute person in ODM, and he can do nothing to remove me from this position. And I remember when Ruto tried to tell Sifuna sometimes back that, I'm a founder member and I can, talk to Papa and, unaweza nyoroshwa kidogo. It was because Sifuna had raised several issues about tear-gassing the GNCs. And therefore, Sifuna now has responded firmly that, you can do nothing. You can do nothing because I'm not talking as Sifuna alone, but this is the position of the party. We are not with you. What I'm talking is the position of the party. That is how the party is feeling, And I also think Sifuna has all this, confidence and assertiveness when calling off the government, because Baba's even endorsed him. He's the spokesperson of the party. Papa said that whenever there's confusion in the party, there must be somebody who speaks the voice of the party, and this is the Secretary General. And when Sifuna speaks, he speaks on behalf of the party. Baba's words here. So that tells me one thing. Honestly, that interview, if it has not shaken William Ruto, then it has destroyed his mood for the next 1 week. Why I'm saying this, it's because Sifuna just delivered the ODM bombshell. We are not with you. That tells you one thing. ODM is not going to support Ruto come 2027. And this is a disaster on Ruto's side because, number 1, Ruto has lost the mountain. Ruto was pagging on the ODM strongholds. Western Kenya already is gone. Perhaps he was counting on Ruo Nyanza and the coastal part of Kenya. But now with ODM coming with this position that Sifuna is projecting the national TV, that tells you one thing. Ruto has to re-strategize again for his 2027 re-election. And Ruto is not only strategizing because he's lost the mountain and now ODM. Ruto has to strategize because he's also losing people from UDA, the likes of Aluali, the likes of Chichobefu, There are people who were in the government, who were in Ruto's camp and who were very strong in it, and he's losing them. So from where I stand, I just feel Sifuna delivered a bombshell and Baba has played Ruto 10-0. Watch this space. What is your opinion? Why do you think Sifuna has to come out on a national television and deliver such a message? Is he speaking as Sifuna or is he speaking for ODM? Let me get your comments in the your opinion in the comment section below. Kindly remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.